This is what's called the Forsus Appliance. The Forsus Appliance is very useful for several different things. Number one is when the lower jaw is back a little bit from the upper jaw, what this does is it actually acts almost like a headgear where it holds the upper jaw back while we push this lower jaw forward. So when you bite down with the Forsus in, it helps that lower jaw to come forward a little bit. This is a substitute for rubber bands. When a tooth is off about a half of a tooth or less, you can use rubber bands to correct that. As long as you wear them really well, you have to wear them 22 hours every single day, only taking them out to eat and to brush your teeth. However, when your tooth goes from a half of a tooth off to a full tooth off, it becomes more difficult to correct with elastics, even with amazing wear. At this point, sometimes we need something with a little bit more oomph to help us to get that to correct and to get the bite corrected and to reduce the overbite. So you can start with a bigger overbite as we wear that Forsus Appliance and slowly advance it. It reduces the overbite so that when you get your braces off, you have a beautiful, perfect looking overbite. The Forsus is interesting because it does not go in when you first get your braces on. You have to be in the heaviest wires, which takes some time to go from the little wires and advance them slowly so your teeth can adjust and modify. And when everything is nice and straight, that's when you can put this in. So it's going to go in probably a year into treatment. It takes a little bit of time to get there. When the Forsus is in, people say, well, how long do I need to have this? Depends on how far your bite is off. So some people 3-4 months is enough. Other people were closer to 6 months. Usually once it's finished and the bite is corrected, we remove this, do all the little details to make sure your teeth look perfect, wear some rubber bands to help get them to lock into place, and then take the braces off. Most people that need this end up having braces around 2 years, which is kind of a common amount of time for braces anyway. This is nice because it takes out the need for putting a rubber band in and out. You eat with it in, you sleep with it in, go to school with it in, it's always working. Sometimes when you're yawning or biting into a really big hamburger, you might notice that the Forsus can come apart. This is a common thing and you're like, well, oh no, what do I do now? It's into 2 pieces. Really, we want to take this spring part, push it up, and then just thread the lower part in through the spring and it reattaches. So it's very easy if this becomes unattached to put that back together at home. However, if you have a bracket that breaks on the bottom around the Forsus, that's when you need to call the office and come in so we can correct that for you. Also, if you were ever to notice spaces opening in your lower teeth, we really don't want that. That usually is a sign that something is off a little bit, and come in and we can tweak it to get you back where you need to go. The Forsus, every time you come in, we'll check usually every 8 weeks to see if we need to advance it little by little until we go from where the bite started with the overbite until we have finished correcting the overbite. So that's just an example of why we would use the Forsus Appliance. Also, sometimes when the bite is off, you can have a tooth that comes in really high up in the gum. Some options would be to extract a permanent tooth to then be able to bring this tooth down and in. However, we don't want to take teeth out if we don't absolutely have to. So this can also be a great way to move these top teeth back so that we can make room for a tooth that comes in high up and be able to bring it down to fit nicely with all the other teeth in the arch without having to do any extractions. So that's why the Forsus is a great appliance, very versatile. We use it for a lot of different things.